Welcome to part 2 of our test nav practice. We're looking at the released 2016 math 3rd grade SOL, and we're practicing using some of the strategies and thinking through the problems. So as always, it's important to read all the information that they give us. This problem says Cindy rode her bike 4/5 of a mile and Wyatt rode his bike 3/5 of a mile. Okay, so we have two number lines here. Here is 4/5 and here is 3/5. What is the total distance Cindy and Wyatt rode their bikes? Total distance makes me think we need to add. Okay, so 4/5 plus 3/5. Okay. I know when I'm adding and the denominator is the same that it's not going to change. So I don't think it's A. I don't think it's B. My other two answers are mixed numbers. And I have these number lines here. So I'm thinking this is supposed to help me somehow. What I'm going to try to do is just add on the number line. So I'm going to start at 4/5 and I'm going to jump 3/5. I'm going to use my pointer tool. Ready? 1/5, 2/5, 3/5. Okay, so now I need to figure out where I am. I am past one whole. Looks like one whole and 1/5, one whole and 2/5. The other option was 2 and 2/5. That really wouldn't make sense because that would be way over here. It'd be like over here on the number line. All right, let's keep going. Select the correct answers. Jamie has the amount of money shown. Looks like 2/4. Jamie needs a total of 95 cents. Complete the two statements about Jamie's money. Jamie will have a total of 95 cents if he adds 4 something and 1 nickel to the money shown. Jamie will also have a total of 95 cents if he adds 2 dimes and 1 something to the money shown. Okay, so 50, to get to 95 cents, we're going to need to add 45 cents. So what do you think? I think 4/4 would be too much. If he had 4 dimes, that would be 40 cents, and 1 nickel would be 45. Now let's do it a different way. We still need to make 45 cents. 2 dimes would be 20 cents. 20 plus 25 would also equal 45 cents. Wow, you need a good understanding of money in order to get this correct. Drag each unit of money to the empty box. A unit of money may be used more than one time. Noah went to a toy store. Noah bought a toy boat for $3.88. He gave the clerk a $5 bill to pay for the boat. Exactly how much change should Noah receive? And that's what we're going to show here. So a common mistake students make is they see the first number, $3.88, and they just drag in, not the 5, $3, 25, 50, 75, 85, 86, 87, 88. And they say done, but they didn't actually pay attention to what they're supposed to do, okay? Because it's asking us how much change should he receive. So you can do a number line and hop from $3.88 to $5 to figure out the difference, or you could subtract. I like to use the minus a penny rule. So on my paper, I'm going to solve $4.99 minus $3.87. You could also subtract $5 minus $3.88. You're just going to have to regroup twice. So 9 minus 7 is 2. All right, my answer is $1.12. So that's what I'm going to put up here. I'm going to drag these back. That's way too much. $1.10, $1.11, $1.12. And like I said in the other video, you've got to really make sure you're confident in your answer before you hit the next arrow, because once you hit the next arrow, you can't go back. All right, a hair clip is shown. What is the length of this hair clip to the nearest ½ inch? All right, this is important. I'm not going to the nearest whole inch. I'm going to the nearest ½ inch. So right away, actually, you know what? It could be this. I almost made a common mistake. Um, the nearest ½ inch could be a whole inch. Think about it as counting by half. Your answer could be 0, 1/2, 1 whole, 1.5, 2 holes, 2.5, 3 holes, and it keeps going. So we need to make sure we have the inch ruler. Let's see what it looks like. I'm going to line it up with the 0. All right, 1 hole, 2 holes, 2.5. 2.5 is my best answer. However, if let's pretend that it was closer to 3 holes, that could still be the answer. It doesn't have to have a ½ inch. All right, Claudia painted a picture as shown. Which measurement is closest to the perimeter of Claudia's picture? Perimeter means the outside of the figure. And we have a key that this amount of space equals 1 foot in real life. All right, so I'm going to try to see how many of these would be on here. Just doing my best to draw the same length. I see 4 units or 4 feet. I think I could fit 2 of them on this side, and it's a rectangle. So if there's 2 on that side, there's also 2 on this side. And if there's 4 on the top, there should be 4 on the bottom. I'm not done though. For the perimeter, I need to add all the sides together. 4 plus 2 is 6, 4 plus 2 is 6, and 6 plus 6 is 12. So my answer is going to be 12 feet. Use your centimeter ruler to answer this question. A picture of a sailboat is shown. All sides of the sail are the same length, which is closest to the perimeter of the sail on this sailboat. And it's labeled sail. So we're only looking at the triangle. Which ruler do we need? Yep, the centimeter ruler. And if you accidentally click the wrong one, just click on the other one. That's okay. All right, I need to line up the 0. I'm going to rotate my ruler using the balls, line it back up. Looks like 6 centimeters. And I think every side's going to be the same length, but I'm just going to double check. 6 and 6. All right, so 6 plus 6 plus 6, or 6 times 3. What would our answer be? Yeah, 18 centimeters. Good job. This model shows a rectangle that is 3 feet long and 2 feet wide, which is closest to the area of the shaded part of this model. Each square equals 1 square foot. Okay, so for area, I'm looking at how many are shaded in. I see 1, 2 completely shaded. Sometimes I like to label them if they're a lot more. And these 2, it's kind of wiggly, but honestly, it goes a little bit over and it's missing a little bit. And I think that this extra part could fill right in there. So to me, it looks like 4 square feet, even though it's not perfect. What is closest to the time shown on the clock? My hour hand is shorter. It's in between the 8 and the 9. If you can't tell, you could use your straight edge to extend it. Okay, so it's not at 9 o'clock yet. So I think it's 8 something, 8:04 or 8:20. I'm going to use my straight edge again to extend my minute hand. All right, it's at the 4. So I'm going to count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20. I believe the time is 8:20. Claire arrived at the zoo at 12:45 p.m. She left the zoo at 3:45 p.m. What was the total amount of time Claire was at the zoo? All right, well, I like to use a number line. I'm not going to draw a whole number line this time, but take a minute and try to figure it out, however, using whatever strategy your teachers taught you. Okay, if you said that she was at the zoo for 3 hours, you are correct. Alan arrived at his friend's house at 3:20 p.m. He left 2 hours later. At what time did Alan leave his friend's house? If you said 5:20 p.m., you are correct. Drag the thermometer bar to show the temperature. Using a thermometer, Jana determined that the temperature outside was 53 degrees Fahrenheit. Show 53 degrees Fahrenheit on this thermometer. So I'm going to click on the arrow and then drag it up. Okay, a common mistake is to just always assume that each of these tick marks is 1 degree. So if I just said, okay, easy, 50, 51, 52, 53, then that would be wrong. What I tell my students to do is to go from one number to the next and count by ones and see if it makes sense. So if this is 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. Uh-oh, it doesn't match. So my scale is not counting by ones. I'm going to try counting by twos and see if that works. 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, 60. Yes, that worked. So on my scratch paper, I'm going to jot down counting by twos to make sure I remember. Now I'm going to look back. I'm trying to find 53. Okay, so this would be 52 and this would be 54. 53 would have to be in the middle. All right, let's keep going. Which 3 polygons were combined without overlapping to make the figure shown? Well, I'm just going to count the sides. I see a triangle. 1, 2, 3. I see another triangle. And then in the middle, I see 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. What is that called when it has 4 sides? Yes, if you said quadrilateral, you're correct. So I see 2 triangles and a quadrilateral. Looks like option D. Triangle, quadrilateral, triangle. Which pair of figures appears to be non-congruent? That means not congruent. If 2 figures are congruent, they are the same shape and the same size. These look like the same shape. It was just turned or rotated. These are both pentagons. Maybe it was put upside down. Ooh, these circles are definitely not the same size. They're both circles, but one is smaller and one is larger. So I think that is my pair of non-congruent figures. Look at this spinner. The arrow on the spinner will be spun 1 time, which best describes the chance that the arrow will land on a section labeled 3. Okay, sometimes I like to color in 3, 3, or you can circle it. All right, so there are 2 3s. out of 6 total spaces, that's less than half. So I know that my chances are unlikely. Here we go. Unlikely, but not impossible. If it were impossible, none of the spaces would say 3. Drag the answers to the correct boxes. 4 students collected books for a school project. This list shows the number of books each student collected. Jacob, 8, Max, 3, Olivia, 19, Tori, 12. Use the information from the list to complete the graph. All right, I see the title, Books Collected. My scale is counting by 2s, and these tell me the number of books. So if Jacob had 8 books, which one do you think is Jacob's? Yeah, this one right here. I might also use my straight edge or draw a line to see, but there's 8. So that's Jacob. Max had 3. 3 would be in between 2 and 4. So this has to be Max. Olivia has 19. And Tori has 12. All right. We're almost done. Number 31. Ooh, an interactive graph. Drag the top of each bar to show the bar height. This tally chart shows the number of pictures 4 students collected for art class. Nancy, you have to be able to read the tally marks. So whenever there's a slash, that's a group of 5. Nancy has 5. Brian has 3. Kristen has 8. And Ricardo has 9. Create a bar graph to show the data in the tally chart. So I'm going to, when I hover over, these arrows appear and I can click and drag. Let's check out the scale first. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We are counting by 2s. So Nancy has 5. That's actually going to be in between 4 and 6. Brian has 3. Kristen has 8. And Ricardo has 9. All right, before I hit next, I'm going to double check. Nancy, 5, Brian, 3, Kristen, 8, Ricardo. Okay, looks good. This pattern repeats after the first 5 cards. Christy removed 3 cards from the pattern as shown. Which ordered set of cards did Christine remove? Okay, well, it kind of tells me where the pattern repeats, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. PWOYR. PWOYR. PWOYR would be my next 3 letters. Now I'm going to check and see which one has the letters that match. Looks like set C. There we go. Last question. Which number sentence is true? Okay, this type of question should take you a couple minutes, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. Hopefully not 10 minutes, but my point is take the time to look very carefully because these are tricky, especially if you're rushing. So on my scratch paper, I would copy the answer so I have more space, and I'm going to solve each side. So you can pause the video if you want time to solve. These are the problems. All right, so 8 times 2 is 16, and 16 plus 3 is 19. 16 equals 19. Is that true? No. Let's look at the next one. 9 minus 1 is 8. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 8 does not equal 8. Is that true? No, right? If it were an equal sign, yes, it would be true, but it says not equal. Okay, so that's not true. Let's look at the next one. 5 times 6 is 30. 25 plus 5 is 30. 30 equals 30. Is that true? Yes. However, sometimes there's more than one true. So let's look at the last one. 15 divided by 3 is 5. 5 and 9 minus 4 is 5. 5 does not equal 5. Is that true? No. Okay. So this type of question, whenever you see this, please slow down and solve each side before you choose the best answer.